What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Cadillac CT4 Sport. Huge thank you to Mike.Dwyer over here at More Cadillac of Chantilly, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular CT4 Sport or any Cadillac product at or below MSRP, then I'll be sure to have Mike and More Cadillac's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a hot and cloudy day outside here today, but it is absolutely gorgeous out. However, we may have a couple external factors affecting today's video quality, like the wind, like the planes flying over, but we're gonna make the best of it. So just like usual, first, I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Cadillac CT4 Sport, and this particular one has been painted in Black Raven. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, Midnight Sky Metallic joins the CT4's color palette, and also the Onyx package now includes a gloss black trunk spoiler. But this being the CT4 Sport, as standard, you get LED headlights with IntelliBeam as well as LED daytime running lights. This one just so happens to be optioned with the $7,600 Super Cruise 2 package, which gives you LED turn signals and LED front cornering lights. Here's a look at the front end of the Sport, and this being the Sport, you get a gloss black mesh grille with your Cadillac logo located at the center of it. Just above the grille, you get some gloss black trim, and beneath the grille, you get that satin chrome grille surround. This one being optioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the forward-facing camera, and that forward-facing camera works with your 360-degree view camera system, which makes parking an absolute breeze. Now, just like the upper grille, the lower grille is also that gloss black mesh style grille, and you also get gloss black outer grills as well. And with the lower grille, you also get some satin chrome boomerang shaped trim. Here's a closer view of what that looks like there. And then also, as standard with the CT4 Sport, you get 4 forward-facing sensors. Now I'm going to give you a front 3/4 shot of this thing, and I'm also going to point out that you get a side marker light. This being the Sport, you get the performance suspension. Apologize about that voice crack there. And then this one has been optioned with the $600 18-inch diamond cut with medium Android satin finish wheels. These wheels are wrapped in 235/40 Continental Pro Contact RX SSR all-season tires. And I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here as best that I can. That is what they look like. And then coming up, on both of your front fenders, you get the satin chrome Cadillac crest, and as standard with this thing, you get rain sensing wipers. Coming on down the side, working my way into these mirrors, you get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding. The driver's side mirror is auto dimming. You also get memory functions, so not only is the vehicle going to memorize your driver seat settings, it is also going to memorize the outer mirror settings as well if there are 2 people driving this vehicle usually. And then also, on the outer left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the outer right-hand side of your passenger side mirror, that is where you will find your blind spot monitoring. And last but not least, on the bottom of your side view mirror right here, you get a puddle light. So all of that is what comes standard with the CT4 Sport. But this one being optioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get this camera right here, not only on the driver mirror, but also on the passenger side mirror. And both of those cameras work with the 360-degree view camera system. That again, you get with the Super Cruise 2 package. Here is a side profile shot of the CT4. This thing looks super slick. I love the way it looks, super sporty. And it's also like the perfect size sedan if you want to have a little bit of fun carving up the back roads, but it also makes for a great daily driver as well. Now, at the top of the roofline, I don't normally do things in this order, but I wanted to point out that this one's been optioned with the $1,050 sunroof, and here's what the sunroof looks like when it is opened from the exterior's perspective. Now, this being the Sport, you get the gloss black window trim as well as the body color door handles with keyless access. The keyless access function is found on all 4 of your door handles. And then at the bottom of all of your passenger doors on your rocker panel, this being the Sport, you get the gloss black rocker extension. So even if this thing was painted in Summit White, those rocker extensions with the Sport will still be gloss black. And then coming up to our antenna, you get a body color antenna. Your third brake light is located right there. You also get a rear window defroster. And then with the Sport, you get the trunk spoiler that is body color. If you got the Onyx package, it would stay gloss black. And then as standard with the CT4 Sport, you get LED taillights. Here is a rear 3/4 shot. Here is a booty shot, and I wanted to point out that just underneath your spoiler, that is where you will find your backup camera. You get the satin chrome badging back here, and if you follow this sharp body line to here and you put your hand underneath here, if the vehicle is unlocked or you have your key fob in your pocket and you press on that, that is how you open up your trunk. Honestly, considering the size of this sedan, this being a smaller sedan, you actually have quite a bit of storage space back here. You get a little storage cubby that goes about, 4.5 inches deep there. If you open this thing up, you have your tow hook here. You would stick this in your capless filler neck if you needed to fill this vehicle up with gas with a gas tank. No spare tire, and then your battery is located right underneath this piece here. You also can fold flat those second row seats, but you can see the opening is just that area there. And that's kind of about it for what we got going on in the trunk. And now let's finish things off here at the back end. So just like the front, you get another 4 parking sensors back here. You also get a gloss black rear valance, which is what this piece is down here. So even if this vehicle was painted in white, gray, blue, doesn't matter, this piece will stay gloss black. You also get a dual exhaust system. You can see in between your dual exhaust, you get these fancy little fins here that add to the sporty, appearance here at the back end. You also get a 285 rear axle ratio. And I wanted to point out that premium fuel is recommended and you get a capless filler neck. But really, that kind of about does it for the exterior of the CT4 Sport. I think this thing looks fantastic. I love how there is still a rear wheel drive biased sedan still for sale today. And even if you don't want rear wheel drive, there is optional all wheel drive. I think that is absolutely awesome. If you're a driver, take a look at the CT4. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder that makes 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 5.8 seconds. And if you are wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 22 miles per gallon in the city, 32 miles per gallon on the highway for 26 miles per gallon combined with rear-wheel drive. As mentioned a little bit ago in the video, you can opt for all-wheel drive with this thing. All-wheel drive is just going to cost you an additional $2,000. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things really help me out in the YouTube algorithm and I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier in the video, you get keyless access as standard. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press this button right here, and it will unlock. You can press that very same button again and it will lock right back up. This is what the key fob looks like. It's satin black with some satin chrome accenting on it. And then going over the functions on the key fob, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your remote start function, your trunk pop function, and your panic function. And if you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is press this button twice and she'll fire right up. And that is what it sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. And now let's see what the interior of this particular CT4 has to offer. So this one's been spec'd with the $1,500 jet black leather upholstery. It comes with a synthetic leather if you do not spec that. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to step on into here, turn this on so it's not going to be so obnoxious. It's going to go through all of its demo mode stuff and stuff like that. But being optioned with the $7,600 Super Cruise 2 package basically makes this a fully loaded vehicle. So with that option spec, you get the 14-speaker Bose sound system with the fancy speaker surrounds on your front 2 doors. Then you also get 2 memory seat adjustment settings as standard. You have your unlock and your lock functions, power side view mirror controls here. This button is not only going to restrict your passenger window privileges, it is also a child lock for the second row passengers. You get automatic up and down windows in the front. You only get automatic down windows in the back. Then you get a nicely padded armrest, some accent colored stitching, some storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle. That is your trunk pop function. And you also get a speaker. Obviously, this being a Cadillac, you get the fancy brushed aluminum Cadillac crest door sill. That is what that looks like. And then here are what your front seats look like. So as standard, you get 18-way power front seats with power lumbar. But this being optioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get heated and ventilated front seats as well as the massage seat function. Also, as standard, you get the thigh extension, and it is manual, and you can find that on both of your front seats. But stepping on into the interior here, let's take a listen to what it sounds like when you close the door. And now we are encapsulated in the CT4. So basically now what I'm gonna do is walk you throughout the entire interior, starting with the functions over here. So right there is going to engage or disengage your parking brake. This being optioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the head-up display system. And here are your head-up display controls. I'm gonna get into these controls here in a minute, so stay tuned for that. And then beneath that, this knob is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. You get a space down in there that you could set your key fob if that is what you wanted to do. So I will do that now. So you set your key fob there, perfect spot. And then if you come under, or I guess underneath the steering wheel would be the right way to say it, you get access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, meaning you can push the steering wheel away from you, you can bring the steering wheel towards you, and it also moves up and down. And once you find your comfortable position, all you got to do is lock it back into place. Now, this one being the sport trim level, you also do get the aluminum sport pedals, which look fantastic. You get a floor mounted accelerator, just adds to the sporty vibe of this thing. But now let's take a listen to the turn signal. Not only is that your turn signal control stock, that is also your high beam control stock and your headlight control stock. So you know how a high beam control stock works, I would hope anyway. Right now that is headlights automatic, that is daytime running lights on. All the way up is headlights in the always on position. I like to leave it in automatic. And then the end button here is to turn your IntelliBeam on or off. IntelliBeam is your automatic high beams. Now, zoom in back out. This being optioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the Super Cruise function at the top of the steering wheel. The steering wheel is also leather wrapped, and this being the Sport, also Super Cruise gives you that thing right there that reads your eyes. And then also this being the Sport, you get the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Take a listen. They're actually made out of metal, which is definitely very nice. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center, so let's take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like on the CT4. Now I'm going to go throughout the controls on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. So that right there is going to turn the heated steering wheel on or off. And then these controls right here are for your cruise control system or your Super Cruise control system, which this button is also included with the Super Cruise system. So basically it is a semi-autonomous driving system. It is a hands-free driving system for certain highways. So that is what those functions are for there. This is also for your gap adjust. So you can see your gap adjust for your cruise control system. You can set how far or how sensitive you want the either forward collision warning to be, or your, this is basically how far you are away from the vehicle in front of you. The more you go down, the less space you have in between the vehicle in front of you, cruising behind them on the highway. And then this right here is going to hang up on a phone call. This is going to speak to the vehicle. And coming to this side of the steering wheel, these are to go forwards and or backwards on the track. The scroll knob as well as these two arrows right here are for your digital gauge cluster. By the way, with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the 12-inch digital gauge cluster, which is very nice. I definitely like the digital gauge cluster. It just adds the sporty vibe of this thing. And then beneath that, you have your volume controls here. Now, as mentioned on the exterior part of the video, you get rain sensing wipers. So auto is your rain sensing wiper mode. And then moving into the gauge cluster, again, this comes with the Super Cruise 2 package. This is what the gauge cluster looks like at the current time. So you can see your tachometer at the center. That is your transmission status stuff. That is the speed limit sign, the digital speedometer readout. That's letting us know right now what drive mode we are in. We are currently in sport mode. And then over here you have your different tiles, so you can actually adjust these tiles to see exactly what you want to see on them, which I'll show you in a second. down there, you got your odometer, you got your coolant temperature gauge, you have your fuel gauge, you have your fuel range right there, and then down here you have your compass. Now you can see the trip computer stuff, so if you wanted to adjust what you see over there, again, you have these controls here. So if I click to the left, you can see I can deselect all of these tiles here. So if I click on that, now there are no tiles over there. So now if I go throughout this screen, let's say I want to see the coolant temperature, I want to see the engine boost, the let's see, what else do we have here? You can go in between all, I want to see the transmission fluid stuff, and I also want to see the tire status. So you can basically select what you want to see, but you just got to select from any of these options over here, and that is what that side does with the tiles. Now if I click to the right, you got your trip computer stuff, then you have your driver assistance stuff, you have your audio stuff. So if I go over here, now I have access into the audio stuff, clicking over, and then you get your navigation stuff, phone stuff, maintenance stuff. So if you go to your maintenance stuff, you can see you got your oil life, your air filter life, brake pad life, and then your engine life. Then you get your options. You can go into the display theme. Right now it's linked to the driver mode, so when I'm in sport mode, you get the sport mode gauge cluster, and let's say right now when it's linked into drive mode, if I put it into tour mode, it looks pretty lame. This is what tour mode looks like. I do not like tour mode. I would definitely prefer it be linked to the driver mode or be in sport mode at all times, because the sport mode gauge cluster looks absolutely sick. And then really that's kind of about it for what we got going on here on our digital gauge cluster. And moving up top here, as mentioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the head-up display system. So right now the head-up display system is displaying the digital speedometer readout as well as a tachometer, and that's kind of about it. So I love the head-up display system. If you wanted to adjust what you see on the head-up display system, you have these buttons here. This button is basically to move the head-up display up or down. This is going to adjust the info on the head-up display. So now I'm just seeing the digital speedometer readout and the speed limit sign, or the digital speedometer readout and the tachometer. Those are my two options. And then the button all the way to the right is to brighten and or dim the head-up display system. And that's kind of about it for that kind of stuff. Now, as standard with the CT4 Sport, you get an 8-inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. But with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the built-in navigation. So I'm gonna go into the absolute home screen. You can see you got your navigation stuff, and up top here, you got your climate stuff and the, what's it called, audio stuff. Swiping into this screen here, as standard with the CT4 Sport, you get a Wi-Fi hotspot so your kids can connect their iPads to this thing if that is what you wanted to do. And then you can see all the other stuff on the screen. Swiping over a little bit more, you got your OnStar services. With the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the 360-degree view camera system. You can go in between your different camera zones down here, but that is what the 360 cam looks like. And then you get your, also with that package, you get the surround view recorder. You get your video recorder button there. You can set service appointments through the My Cadillac app. And then down here, you have your different shortcut buttons. So you got your home button. So you get another home button. That's the physical one. That is the one throughout the screen. And then these are to shortcut you into your audio stuff, phone stuff, navigation stuff, climate stuff. And you can see the lightning bolt with the phone. The CT4 Sport comes standard with a wireless charging pad. My phone is in the wireless charging pad. And when you see that lightning bolt on the phone thing right there, that is letting you know that the phone is charging. And then that is the Wi-Fi hotspots connectivity. So right now it's got 3 bars, and then you get the time and the temperature down here. And then if you come over to here, you get your volume control knob. This is not only your tuning control knob, but you can also control the screen. You can see how it's like illuminating what you want to see on the screen. Let's say I wanted to go into the Wi-Fi hotspot. All I would do, go to Wi-Fi hotspot, click on that button, it's going to bring me into the Wi-Fi hotspot. And that's kind of about it for that screen. Coming down a little bit more, you get 2 HVAC vents. As standard with the CT4 Sport, you get a dual zone climate control system. So this is what the climate control stack looks like. Here's a nice little view. And then beneath that, with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get the heated and the ventilated front seats. You get 3 levels of adjustability with both the heated and the ventilated front seats. This is going to turn your parking sensor beep beep beeps on or off. Then you got your hazard button, your lane keep assist button. This is going to pop up your 360-degree view camera system. And then you have your heated and your ventilated seats for the front passenger over here. Now, as mentioned earlier, this comes standard with a wireless charging pad. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it fits in the wireless charging pad, no problem. Coming back a little bit more, as mentioned, you get steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, and if you wanted to use those paddle shifters exclusively, you'd have to go into M mode, which is all the way down here at the bottom. That's your manual mode, and now you can control the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. I'm gonna go back into park. Then you get 2 cup holders right here, and behind that, you have your drive mode selector. So if you click on this, you have your different drive mode. So my mode is configurable. Then you got your tour mode. It also is letting you know what it does on that side of the screen. You go into sport mode. Obviously, sport mode's gonna make everything sporty. Then you got your snow/ice mode, your my mode, tour mode. I'm gonna leave it in sport mode for right now. No, you do not get an adaptive suspension with this. You get the ride and handling suspension, which is not adaptive, but it's still a fantastic suspension. This is to turn your auto stop start system on or off. This is to turn your traction control system on or off. And then this auto hold function right here is basically when you turn that on, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. And if you wanted to go forward again, all you got to do is hit the accelerator, the vehicle will move forward again. It's a very, very nice system. And then you get a leather wrapped armrest here. It is padded, and when you open it up down in here, you get an SD card slot, you get a USB-A port, you get a USB-C port, and a 12-volt power outlet. And let's say you didn't want to charge your phone in the wireless charging pad. Well, you could set your phone right down in this phone holder right here. So very nice. I'm gonna have it on the wireless charging pad, at least for now. And then I'd say you probably get, you know, about 4 inches of depth down in here, followed by, you know, if you don't count this piece and you count from here to here, you probably get another 4 inches. So a decent amount of storage space, but you can lose the storage space rather quickly if you just, you know, stack some stuff down in there. So closing that up and moving into the glove box, you get a lockable glove box. You actually get quite a bit of storage space in the glove box considering the size of this vehicle. And closing that back up and moving up to here, you get an auto dimming rear view mirror. You get your OnStar stuff. This is going to let you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. Both of your reading lights are LED. This is your instant dome light on button. It's going to turn on all of your interior dome lights. And then this button right here is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the door. So if you click that and that lights up in that amber color, that means when you open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. And then as mentioned on the exterior part of this video, this one's been optioned with the $1,050 power sunroof. Not only does the sunroof slide, but the sunroof also does tilt. So if you open that up, this is what the sunroof looks like. So if you slide it backwards, this actually goes quite a ways further back than you would expect it to. It hides back underneath there. And then if you wanted to tilt the sunroof, all you would have to do is basically push up on this thing right here and the sunroof will tilt open. So that is what that looks like. And then coming into the visor here, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, and then the visor does slide forwards and backwards depending on where the sun is shining. Driver gets a no poop handle. The front passenger also gets a no poop handle. And then going over the seat comfort, personally, I think there's a little hair on the lens there, but these seats are very comfortable. You know, if you are a thicker person, I still think you'd be pretty comfortable in these seats, but there is a little bit of bolstering. So if you're like, you know, bigger, like big, I don't know how comfortable you would be in these seats, truthfully, because of the bolstering. But now I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen, and you can take a look at whatever you want to take a look at. Take a look at everything that you get as standard. Take a look at the safety and security column. I think you'd be interested in that kind of stuff. Take a look at everything you get with the Super Cruise 2 package, because it comes with a lot, makes this thing practically fully loaded. But now I am just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 CT4 Sport is spec'd is $52,840. I think this is a good value, all things considered. It looks fantastic on the exterior. It looks great here on the interior. It gives you all the features you could ever want on a vehicle. And if you want something that's rear-wheel drive, this is rear-wheel drive as standard. $2,000 will get you all-wheel drive. But I want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So taking a look at what we got going on here on the rear door panel. As mentioned, you get automatic down windows back here. The windows do go all the way down, but they are not automatic up. You get a speaker there, a padded armrest, and that's about it. This is what these rear seats look like here. You get that brown accenting, I love that. But stepping on into these rear seats, me being 5'9", being adjusted behind myself, I still have knee and leg room. Here's another view of my knee and leg room back here. And then up top here, you get an OPU panel. You get a spot you can set your dry cleaning and a dome light. You get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat. You also get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. You get 2 HVAC vents, and if you open this thing up, you get a 12-volt power outlet down here. And when it comes to headroom, me being 5'9", I've got a little bit of headroom left over, but really, quite frankly, not that much headroom left over. And then also, if you open this thing up here, you get 2 cup holders, a padded armrest. You get the same stuff on that side, the dry cleaning hook, OPU panel, and the LED dome light. I will say, however, I think for me personally, these rear seats are a little bit too straight up. You know, I think they're a little bit too vertical for me. I don't know how comfortable I'd be here in these rear seats, you know, after an hour or so. They're just a little bit too vertical. So if anybody from Cadillac is watching this video, you got to give these rear seats some more reclinability, because right now they're too vertical for at least me. But, you know, we talked about the exterior, we talked about the performance, and now we talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. Handling test. Great handling. And that is something, whenever I make a video with a Cadillac, a Chevy, a GMC, I always mention that the handling of any sort of GM vehicle, whether even it be like an Escalade, a Tahoe, or one of their bigger vehicles, GM really has their suspension game down. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy when you drive one of their trucks, when you drive one of the, you know, big SUVs, when you go around a turn, you're like, why does this thing handle way better than it should be? And, you know, take what I just said there and apply it to a sedan, you got a really good formula for a fantastic driving sedan. So this being the Sport, you'd be like, oh man, does the suspension ride really firm, or is it actually pretty good? And I will say the suspension is actually very comfortable, but it also is firm enough to when you go around a turn, there's very, very minimal body roll. Like, I'm gonna hit these bumps right here on purpose. Don't jar you around too much. Obviously we were only going about 20 miles an hour there, but I mean, it's just a great vehicle, you know what I mean? Especially this one. This one's loaded up, so it's got pretty much every option on it, other than like the Onyx package, which is more of an aesthetic option. You know, technology wise, it's got nearly everything, if not everything. So you know, cruising at about 42 miles an hour, going around bumps, going over these bumps and stuff. I mean, it just cruises like a comfortable sedan cruises, you know what I mean? It's very good because it looks great, looks super sporty, looks like you would drive super sporty, and it actually is relatively quick. If you need something that's quicker, if this isn't quick enough for you, they do have the CT4V. And I believe they also have the CT4V Blackwing. I don't know if they have the CT4V. I think they have a CT4V and a CT4V Blackwing. Those things obviously cost more, but they are also obviously quicker at the same time. But if you're looking for something that's just, you know, cool, fun to drive, you know, fuel efficient, looks great, drives great, it's comfortable on the interior, you know, then I would take a serious look at the CT4 Sport, because it has all those things. It looks great, it's comfortable, and then, you know, if you want a fully loaded one, you can pick up a fully loaded one under, you know, 50 grand. So I think that's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? You get a very nice brand new vehicle under 50 grand, and it's got all the features you want. It's got the hands-free driving system. I mean, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it also has the metal paddle shifters, which you don't usually find too often on these vehicles. And one thing that's kind of interesting is that I've done some videos with the Cadillac Escalade, and the Cadillac Escalade doesn't even have the metal paddle shifters. So here's a little acceleration floored. Very responsive transmission. However, you may see that on the digital gauge cluster, it's got that red thing on the RPMs. So basically this thing is not fully broken in yet, so the vehicle is not going to let you hurt it. So if you floor it, it's not going to let you take it up to the full RPM red line where it would be if this was fully broken in. So, you know, you don't have to worry really about, you know, breaking this thing or blowing this thing up, because it's not going to let you do that, because it's limiting your RPMs until you reach 500 miles is what I would expect it to be, you know. So that is not a worry. And I also wanted to go into the navigation and sound package. So with the navigation and sound package, it gives you exactly what you would expect it to. But first, let's do a handling test. I mean, it handles really, really well. But back to what I was saying, with the navigation and the sound package, not only do you get built-in navigation, but you also get the 14-speaker Bose sound system. However, this being optioned with the Super Cruise 2 package, you get all of that. You get the technology package, you get the sun and sound, or the navigation and the sound package, you get the Super Cruise, you get the climate package. It loads this thing up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a left down this road right here, and I'm just gonna give you, you know, just a little bit more than an average acceleration, just so, you know, you get the idea kind of what this thing is like to drive if you're gonna be driving it normally, rather than, you know, these car review videos sometimes. Sorry, I gotta go in front of them. Here's a little acceleration. So I know, like I was saying, you know, a lot of these car review videos, basically they just floor them. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, okay, well, that's great. You know, they floored it, but what's a regular acceleration look like? That's why I try to give you those regular accelerations as well. I don't remember what I was just going to say, but it was a good thing to say, but I can't remember what it was. But maybe I'll remember it as soon as I finish this video. You know, that's how it usually goes. But it's comfortable. It's fast enough. And as I was going to say, I just remember what I was going to say, is that I know 237 horsepower in today's day and age is like, are you serious? That ain't nothing. But when you get behind the wheel of it and you experience what a light vehicle is like, it's actually pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And I just made a YouTube short saying that this is one of the last brand new vehicles sold that is rear wheel drive biased. So this one is rear wheel drive, but you can, for additional $2,000, option it with all wheel drive. And you're not really seeing, as time goes on, many rear wheel drive biased sedans left for sale that are brand new. So I think it is pretty cool that Cadillac is still having a rear biased sedan. Cadillac, please do not get rid of that. A lot of us out here appreciate that. And another thing I wanted to say, you know, that kind of has to do with that, is that you can feel the vehicle push you rather than pull you. Pulling would be like being pulled with a front wheel drive vehicle. The push is what you get with the rear wheel drive vehicle, and you can feel the difference. Like, it's just kind of an interesting sensation, and I love that kind of sensation. But that's all I gotta say. Sound system with the Bose sound system, it's fantastic. You're not going to be disappointed with it. So if you like listening to music, I recommend that as an option. You know, the Super Cruise 2 package is nice and all, but you don't necessarily need all of those features. But having all of those features is fantastic, and I love how you can get all of this MSRP wise for 52 grand, but you can pick these up for about $50,000. This Camaro looks fantastic here in the rear view and the side view mirror. But yeah, that's kind of about it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow, and that is what helps me achieve my dreams. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.